Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to our PSP Storytime reading. Today, we are going to be reading The Princess and the Pea. Let's get started. Chapter 1, The Picky Prince. Once upon a time, there was a prince who wanted to marry a princess, but he didn't want just any old princess. He wanted a real one. This is Princess Cordelia, Your Highness. Not one of the local princesses would do. What's the matter with them, Patrick? Cried his father, the king. I'm running out of princesses to show you. Are they too old, too tall, too hairy? I can't be sure they're real, sighed Prince Patrick. I'll have to find one myself. You must do whatever you want, darling, said the queen, who spoiled him rotten. Nothing but the best for my Princey Wincy. Mother! The next day, Prince Patrick set out to travel the world in search of a real princess. Ready, Freddie? Think my arm's stuck. He took with him 12 suitcases, 10 pairs of shoes, and a spare crown, and his cousin Fred. Goodbye, my love, the queen cried, wiping away a tear with her silk handkerchief. Don't forget to wrap up warm and brush your teeth. I'll be fine. Stop fussing. They hadn't gone far when they heard a loud sneeze from under the sea. Who's there? Shouted the prince. A small figure crept out. It's Peg. Aren't you the palace maid? Said Prince Patrick. Peg nodded. Well, what are you doing here? The prince asked. I want to see the world, said Peg. I've been at the palace all my life. Ever since I was left on the doorstep as a baby. I want an adventure. She blushed, and cook's furious because I burned the pudding, she added. Well, you can't come with us, said Fred. This is a boys-only adventure. You'll get scared and want to go home. No, I won't. I'm as brave as you. Well, we're not turning back now, said Prince Patrick. She'll have to join us. Peg grinned at Fred. Okay, Prince Patrick went on. First up, the Wicked Witch's hut. Fred looked alarmed. You are joking. She'll eat us alive. Who's scared now? Said Peg. Prince Patrick shook his head. The witch will know how to find a real princess. She's my best hope. Chapter 2, Off to See the Witch. Now, Peg, said Prince Patrick, this could be dangerous. You stay in the coach. Fred and I will meet the witch. The prince knocked 3 times on the witch's door. There was no answer. Why couldn't I stay in the coach? Said Fred. Looks like no one's in. We'll have to go, said Fred, who was already backing away. She must be in, said the prince, and he bent down to peer through the keyhole. Arrgh! A large green eye was staring at him. Prince Patrick jumped back and landed bottom first in a patch of mud. A short, plump woman opened the door, chuckling to herself. Did I scare you? I was just checking who you were. You can't be too careful these days. Look at this mud, cried the prince. Fred was amazed. Are you the witch? He asked. You're not that scary at all. The witch looked rather upset. Try my best, she sighed. I grew 3 new warts last week. Come inside, she added. I'm just cooking some tasty soup for lunch. Something smells bad in here. I think it's the soup, cried the prince. We're not hungry, said Prince Patrick quickly. I've come to ask for your help. I want to know how to find a real princess. Real princesses are very rare, said the witch. It's hard to spot a fake one, but there is a test you could do. Let me see. A real princess must have oil, brains, rotten beans, and cat spit. What? Cried the prince. Oh, sorry, that's a recipe for soup. This is it. The real princess test. Real princesses must possess politeness to one and all, kindness to rich and poor, very sensitive skin. Sensitive skin? Prince Patrick asked, looking confused. A real princess, explained the witch, has such tender skin that she could feel a pea under 20 mattresses. Thank you, said the prince. You've been very helpful. He turned to the door. Oh, do stay for lunch, pleaded the witch. I've been yawning a lot. Sorry. My soup's almost ready. No, really. I insist on bringing in that poor girl from outside. Oh, I can't eat that. They were stuck in the witch's hut until the cauldron was empty. I feel sick, groaned Peg on the way back to the couch. Well, you shouldn't have had 3 bowls then, said Fred. I poured mine into the plant pot. I was being polite. I didn't want to hurt the witch's feelings. That was very kind of you, Peg, said Prince Patrick, smiling at her. Where are we going now? Asked Fred. Now I have the witch's test. I can finally find a real princess, said the prince. We're off to meet Princess Prunella. Check the map, Fred. Princess Prunella, Chapter 3. Princess Prunella was very excited to see the prince. You must come and stay in my castle, she cried. She raced over the bridge, dragging Prince Patrick with her. Hurry, hurry, she called to her servants. He's perfect. We'll be married in no time. I want you to prepare the bed chambers for the prince and Fred. Excuse me, said Peg, struggling with all the luggage. Where am I to sleep? Who are you? I'm the maid. Maids belong in the attic, replied the princess haughtily. There might be a few mice there, but I'm sure you'll cope. Peg went to her room. It was cold and damp, and she could hear mice scuttling about, squeaking, the prince can't marry her. Meanwhile, Fred and the prince were in the grand dining room with Princess Prunella. You're being kind, said Prince Patrick, but what about Peg? Is she eating in the kitchen? The princess looked shocked. Your beastly little maid? You can't expect me to bother with her. She can eat the pig slops if she's hungry. I'm afraid we must leave, said Prince Patrick. You're not a real princess after all. Oh, yes, I am, cried Princess Prunella. Oh, no, you're not, shouted Fred. You failed the first real princess test. Rats! Real princesses are polite to everyone, exclaimed Prince Patrick, and you've just been rude to Peg. Chapter 4, Princess Pavlova. I won't give up, said Prince Patrick. There must be a real princess somewhere. According to the map, there's a Princess Pavlova next door. Let's try her. Princess Pavlova greeted them all very politely. What a pleasure to have you here, she said. Welcome to my castle. Thank you, Your Highness. She passed the politeness test, thought the prince. Now, what's the next one? I have an idea. Fred, he cried, I have a plan. I'm going to dress up as a beggar and see if Princess Pavlova is kind to me. Try your disguise on Peg first, said Fred, to make sure it works. Prince Patrick found Peg sitting on a tree stump about to eat an apple. I'm a hungry beggar. Have you any food for me? Oh, you poor thing, Peg cried when she saw him. Here, have my apple. Prince Patrick was very pleased with myself. Excellent, it works, he shouted, throwing off its disguise. It's you! What are you doing? Asked Peg. But the prince was already knocking on the castle door to try the test on Princess Pavlova. A servant answered. Is someone there? Called Princess Pavlova. It's a beggar, Your Highness. We've got nothing for him, snapped the princess. Tell him to go away. And he smells. Prince Patrick turned away. So she's not a real princess, he thought. A real princess is both polite and kind, even to beggars. Chapter 5. A Real Princess. I'll never be married. I give up, said the prince with a sigh. I don't think there's a real princess anywhere. We might as well go home. They got ready for the long journey back to the palace. Everyone was glum, even the horses. I bet Cook hasn't forgotten about the pudding I burned. The coach arrived at the palace just in time. A huge storm was brewing. Peg was sent to the kitchens in disgrace. You've got hundreds of dishes to wash, scolded the cook. They've been piling up since you left. Prince Patrick and Fred went to find the king and queen. Outside, rain began beating against the windows. Streaks of lightning lit up the sky. Just then, there was a knock on the door. There is a Princess Primrose to see you, Your Highness, said the footman. Not another one. A beautiful princess stepped into the room. She was wet from the rain and shaking with the cold. I'm so sorry to trouble you, she said politely, but my coach has broken down. No trouble at all, said Prince Patrick quickly. Why don't you stay the night at our castle? We'll fix your coach in the morning. Thank you. I must give you something in return. She acts like a real princess, thought the prince, but I must be sure. He asked the prince's servants to prepare Princess Primrose's bedroom. I want 20 mattresses on the bed, ordered Prince Patrick, and a pea at the very bottom. Here's your bed, Your Highness. It's rather high. Peg didn't get to finish that night. Peg didn't get to bed that night. She had to finish the dishes. The next morning, Princess Primrose came down for breakfast looking refreshed. "How did you sleep?" asked Prince Patrick. "I slept like a baby. I loved all those mattresses," the princess said. "It was the most comfortable bed." Prince Patrick sighed. A real princess would have felt that pea, he thought. He waved goodbye to Princess Primrose as soon as breakfast was over. "Another fake one." The queen said, "She's not good enough for my Patrick." It was Peg's job to clean the princess's bedroom. Slowly she climbed up the ladder, yawning with each step. "I'll just lie down for a moment," Peg thought, "before I start cleaning out." In no time, she was fast asleep. An hour later, Peg woke up with a start. "Ow," she said, "there's something really lumpy in this bed." "I'm getting down." Ooh, it's a long way. But as she leaned over, she knocked the ladder. It clattered to the ground. "Drat!" Peg cried. "I'm stuck." "Help!" she shouted as loud as she could. "I'm stuck! Please, help!" Everyone rushed into the bedroom. "What are you doing up there?" Prince Patrick called. "I was supposed to be cleaning," said Peg, "but I was so tired I fell asleep. And there's something horribly hard in this bed," she added. "I'm covered in bruises." "This can only mean one thing." "I can't believe it," cried the prince. "You were polite to the witch, kind to a beggar, and now you felt a pea under 20 mattresses. You must be a real princess." He raced up the ladder. "Peg, will you marry me?" Peg gasped. "You want to marry me? A palace maid?" "Yes, please." "A maid, but a princess at heart." "3 cheers for Princess Peg," shouted Fred, and everyone cheered. So Prince Patrick finally married his real princess. He put the pea in a glass case in the palace museum for everyone to see. It may still be there today. Thanks for listening. Join us next week for more Storytime readings.